known enough to actually educate people. Most of them eat good food already, but maybe they are eating at the wrong time.
Okay.
Why are you doing your tozafi at 9 o'clock in the night and then go and sleep? Let it come back earlier, quarter at 3 or 4, so that when you go to bed at 9, some digestion has taken place already. Or better says, eat it in the afternoon and eat something light, depending on how you work, which farm you're going to, what time you wake up to go to farm. Some people wake up early in the morning, eat fufu before they even go to farm.
Yes.
In our villages and our areas. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to burn it. It's the one you eat and sleep that is the problem.
Okay.
So you need to help people to go through their lifestyle. It's a big area we leave out in health. What we want is, oh, I'm sick. You wait till this illness comes and then you deal with it. And that's the whole issue of vaccines. You have a baby, you know that they can get measles, rubella, you vaccinate them to ensure that that illness never comes. So when this government was playing cha-cha with the lives of our children and didn't have vaccines for a number of months, that was totally unheard of or uncalled for. How can you be on a podium talking about 111 hospitals and laying foundation when you haven't paid for vaccines? I mean, how? It's like taking your heart out while you are trying to eat fufu because your mouth is sore, so you are doing service on your lip. Your whole system will crash. You must deal with the fundamentals. Vaccines are fundamental in health. You can't joke with it. If you have an outbreak of measles or any of the MMR issues in the country, it will cost you 10, 20 times what it will cost you to pay for the vaccine.
Yeah.
So get the vaccine. Instead of allowing your minister to go and get COVID vaccines through Sputnik vaccines without going through proper processes. No Attorney General's advice, no cabinet approval, no parliamentary approval. Yeah. Unilaterally, you order vaccines at a price which is higher than the market price. And you are saying that you are, and when the president speaks about it, he says that the minister is hot now and laughs about it. Why will we go far? Why will we go far? This is so wrong. And I know him personally, he's a good guy. But that one, I got it completely wrong. Completely wrong. And if this was NDC, my feet wouldn't touch the ground. Before I jump like this and I'm now coming down, before my legs will get to the ground, I've been out of office.
Okay.
Why? But we have no leadership. We have a situation that there are no sanctions in our country. Whom you know. Anytime there's a problem, oh, so long as it's MPP, but if it's NDC, it's an issue. Then you know all the laws and this and that. But when it's MPP, it can be swept under the carpet. And it's unfortunate.
Because you mentioned that part, when it's NDC, former Minister of Environment, Science, Technology, Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong, named some top government officials as being engaged in the illegal mining, known as Galamsey. I mean, what is going on here with the special prosecutor? A lot of questions. When I was coming, a lot of people want some answers. Ghanaians in the UK, and none of them that contacted me, they want to know why the one who exposes the rot of wrongdoing is the one being accused and prosecuted. This is what Ghanaians in the UK is saying, that why, if he was going to be arrested for this, why didn't they do it before, until people just want some answers? They said, I should ask you.
I'm not in government. I'm not MPP either. It smells to high heavens. You don't do that. We have a Whistleblowers Act that actually protects whistleblowers. So Frimpong Martin is actually a whistleblower. But worse than that, he gave the report 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago. He gave that report and nobody acted on it. And so long as he was put in the corner and maltreated, everybody felt it was okay. The moment he spoke on it and came out, all of a sudden, he must be the first person to be arrested and questioned. That doesn't put a good smell. As a lawyer, I know that certain processes and procedure may require his arrest. Mm-hmm. But even if that is the case, to elicit evidence in a formal manner, mm-hmm. why not self-recognizance bail? Why should he bring sureties of any sort? Mm-hmm. The man wasn't going anywhere. He's in Ghana. Yes. And if for nothing at all, you had the report for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So if you are now deciding to act on it, simply give the man normal bail, if anything at all, on the basis that, okay, you want to be sure that if he is culpable, mm-hmm. he's not being seen to be given certain immunity. That impunity, looking at the parameters of the whistleblowers, can be dealt with in a different way. Mm-hmm. But you could just have invited people, take their statements without arrest, and then decide who you want to prosecute or not. And it was, the view of many, and that's why your viewers are asking the question, is that this is full of retribution or intimidation of the gentleman. Mm-hmm. And look, Frimpong Bakton is pure MPP. Mm-hmm. Politically, me and him would not gel. Professionally, I have a lot of respect for the man. Yes. For what he has achieved. Mm-hmm. This is no small, and he trained in a good environment. Mm-hmm. And he has made serious changes in our, as Minister of Health, mm-hmm. there are 3 main areas that are strong in the sub-region and even in Africa, mm-hmm. in Ghana. Pediatrics, mm-hmm. orthopedic, mm-hmm. and cardio. These 3, the whole of West Africa, we are ahead. And even, some will say, for some of them in Africa. And one of the main drivers of the cardio side is Frimpong Bakton. Okay. So, if for nothing at all, yes, he's minister, and he has given you a report. Act on it. Others may have given you other information. Mm-hmm. But where is he going? This idea that everybody must have bail of some self-confidence, as if the person is going to run out. Where is he going?
So, the Constitution and law provide for freedom of speech and press. Yes. Is free speech under threat in Ghana?
Definitely. The media is gagged. Many people don't say what they need to be saying. They couch it.
So people are afraid. This is what people in the UK were saying.
Yes, people are afraid.
Once you speak, they are of the view that once you speak your mind,
how many of the journalists, even your own Captain Smart, I was on his program recently, I asked him, that all these things you were saying about John Mahama, did anybody call you for arresting you? He looked at me and said, no. I said, then you answer your own question. Yes. They'll just come and ransack your studio, call you, pick you up, make your life uncomfortable. Why?
But why is the opposition
we will even talk about
to address this?
But we speak out. I'm here, I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. From here, what happens? We talk to civil society speaks against. But the real game is here. I won't listen to anybody. That is the position of President Nana Addo. Doesn't listen. Even to his own, he doesn't listen. How much more we in opposition? Forget.
So when people in the UK are saying the NDC and the other opposition parties are not doing enough to address a number of issues, like here in the Labour Party, they are very forceful, they are under the throat of Conservative, and things have to be done in a way.
What didn't we do for e-levy? Mm-hmm. How many by Parliament? What didn't they do? Even the taxes that they give, what didn't we do? Mm-hmm. So Parliament is doing its bit. We are holding press conferences. Why is Sami Gyamfi known? Sami Gyamfi is known because of the number of press conferences that we've held on almost every single issue that has taken place.
People think here he's gone quiet since the allegation of...
We've had 2 by-elections, or the second one is coming. We have, that is, first we have to do with Kumowu, then we now have to do with Asinoff. So there have been issues. But in between all this, don't forget we also had our own elections. We had the flag bearership election and also the, the parliamentary elections. So these are major internal issues that we have to get out of the way. And we can attack, we always attack or bring to the fore issues that the MPP are doing. The MPP took advantage of our parliamentary elections to bring matters to parliament. Call an emergency, knowing full well our people won't come. And laid laws. Why? Because they know that if there's a full house, there'll be a problem. You see, so we are aware of, and we make it known to the public, those that care to know. But in terms of all-out movement, we are not moving into, after the by-election, we are going to sit down and put in place a clear strategy how we are going to move over the next 15 months or so towards the December 7th election. And that is a matter internally we will deal with. We are not coming to come and tell you what we are going to do.
Yes.
So we are clear. But the mere fact that somebody can say that, oh, but why are they making noise about this, means he has heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we are on programs like this, or they also are in Ghana, they should shout. They are Ghanaian. They should call in a friend and say, I don't agree. This is very bad. It registers.
We know that Nanado watches Omega TV UK.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, he regularly, Gabi Ochidakon, when we interview him, mentioned that he always sit down and watch our program.
Okay.
So he'll be
hearing. Yeah, well, that is good. He must listen. He must listen to his people.
Yes.
He's not, the view out there is that he doesn't listen. And you can't be dismissive of all advice. And that's the impression that is created. That we have a president that doesn't listen. So that is how he's referred to. So he must begin to listen. We don't have a listening president. And it's not good for our democracy.
Thank you. Producer, if we can have the number so that people might want to call in before the time. Asinoff.
Yes.
What are the chances there?
Look, I'm a realist. I don't do fantasy when it comes to politics. One, in every by-election, incumbent governments have an advantage because they control the whole machine and they have the ability to concentrate it in one place. So you are fighting a whole machine in just one constituency. When it is over the 276, there's no such, or the advantage is minimized. But it's there, but it's minimized. But when it's in just one, like when they saw they were going to lose Ayawaso West, we're going to see what happened. So they then misbehave in a way that you have to, if you are not strong, you create a problem. In Ayawaso West Wogon, Ofosu Apofo, who was our chairman at the time, called off the election for NDC. He saved lives. It cost him a lot because a lot of people were not interested in why he called it off. Nobody's calling off any election again this time if anything goes wrong.
Okay. Do or die affair.
I'm not saying that it's do or die. I'm saying that nobody is calling off any elections, no matter what happens. So we'll go and count what is there with all the casualties as well. I'm not, after all, we've done Kumewu, nothing happened. So Asinoff too. And the police have been very strong and clear, and they want to see the same type of action in Asinoff, even though the stakes are higher and different. So it is going to be a more contested election, and the stakes are very high on both sides. But it is no precursor, or should I say, it is not in any way representative of a general election. People say, oh, but this by election. Look, NDC won a number of by-elections, I think, running up to the 2000 election. We lost 2000. Yeah. And same, there are other examples. So by-elections are never a close indication, even close in any way, of what is going to happen in a general election. No. It's not. It's for me, people will try and say, oh, because you've won this, NDC has won the election, or because you've lost it, NDC is not going to be. It's not an indicator of the general election. Whatever plans we are doing for general election, let's go and plan. It's like playing football on five-a-side pitch. But when you get to the main stadium, the way you are going to run is different from the way you run on five-a-side.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So we are doing five-a-side. And the tactics and the game is different from when you are doing full pitch, 90 minutes.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You need more stamina. You need to be fitter. You have to study your opponent. They have, what's it called? Substitutes, etc., etc. It's a different ballgame from five-a-side. So I'm clear in my mind that all things being equal, Chachikwesi is going to win. But I don't want NDC people, if he wins, to say because we have won, we are going to win general election. Don't put it in your mind at all.
Yes.
If they go and rig it or misbehave, don't put it in your mind that, oh, that's what is going to happen in general election. No. They are two separate things completely. But I'm quietly confident, with all the indicators that I've had, that Chachikwesi will be retained as the, and they are doing all kinds of things. I've heard that, and I hope it's not true, because as of social media, that they want him to be, the case is going to start, and they want him to be in court almost every day.
Okay.
If that is the truth, and I hope it is not, it is tantamount to saying that they don't want him to campaign. Because he cannot be in court in Accra and be in Asin North at the same time. That is unfair. You see, I mean, people, the whole system must be alive to the message that is hitting the ground. And we must be very careful with our democracy.
Okay.
We must be very careful.
When you say very careful,
yeah, because
but before we go on, I just want our viewers to know that we are sorry we are not going to be able to take calls because we've been hacked for some reason. A hacker knows that Honorable Alex Segbefia is here with us, and he decided to hack us. But we'll be our maintenance team are looking into it, and we'll be back. Thank you. Yeah, so we won't be able to take calls. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. So look, as far as Asin North is concerned, as I was saying, we shouldn't set precedents that we can't live with. And more importantly, Ghanaians should be alive to what is happening today. We are a country of precedents. If you go to court and High Court make a decision, it's based on the fact that the Supreme Court made a decision similar. They cannot change it. We are a country, we do with what has happened in the past, we will live with it. When NDC is doing, nobody should talk. Because these things that are going on are wrong. And it doesn't help anybody.
Yes.
Okay.
James Kwesi, what does the future hold? I mean, he's been charged with forgery of a passport, the deceit of a public officer, knowingly making a false statutory declaration, So what is the future? Today he was in court. I think it's going to be a daily event.
I think, as a prosecutor myself, in my previous life, I think it's a very bad case. And I think that the case should have been discontinued on public interest grounds to start with. There are question marks about the whether there's sufficient evidence to give rise to a realistic prospect of conviction in the first place. And the reason why I have concerns is that at a particular point, the referee had an opportunity to truncate his contesting. After the referee had been shown all documentation, and the referee confirmed that he could contest. So where is the mental element in him doing something illegal? I've given all my documents to the referee. The referee says I can contest.
Yes.
And what the court or the prosecutor is trying to say is, well, the things that happened before. So the crime had already been committed at the time, even if the referee gave you clearance. But if the referee had not given you clearance and you didn't contest, you wouldn't be prosecuting him. If he had gone and lost, you wouldn't be prosecuting him. It's only because he won that you have decided to prosecute. Which means that actually you have taken the reason why you wanted him to be out to court already. And the court has removed him and says now go for another contest. This time round he's got all the documentation in place. So why are you looking for criminal prosecution? And the answer when you speak to MPP is that because of my dear brother, late Sikandi, when I was chairman here as, in UK, he was the vice chair for MPP. I know him well. And then he went to parliament as MP in Boku. But the truth is that in Sikande's case, when he became an MP, while an MP, he was still using his British passport to travel. And there was evidence of that. And he also had a Burkinabe passport. So he had 3 passports. Ghana, Burkinabe, and he had made no attempt to renounce. Okay. Another reason why I don't think it's in the public interest is that this same government is telling all of us Ghanaians to accept that the reason for our abysmal position in terms of our economics and finance is because of COVID. Yes. But Chachi Kwesi's delay in getting his certificate was because of COVID, period. And this is clear. It takes 3 to 6 months to get it. When he applied in November, there was no December of 2021, of 2019, there was no COVID. By February, March, COVID had kicked in. So all that process was delayed. So when they pushed, finally they gave him his clearance, I believe in November. Yeah, in November of 2020. Okay. And that was when the EC invited him and he took the documents and they said, well, in that case, you can contest. So if government is telling all of us to accept COVID as the basis for their incompetence and mismanagement of the economy, and that is what you want us, why can't you give the same latitude to Chachi Kwesi? So for me, anywhere I twist it, it's not in the public interest. Moreover, you are there shouting every day, homecoming, people from the diaspora come to Ghana, come and, isn't Chachi Kwesi from the diaspora? Yeah. So what message are you giving to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora? When John Mahama is saying on platform that he is now going to make every effort to ensure that people who are in the diaspora can also stand as MP. That's his pledge on the platform. You are there prosecuting people who have come from the diaspora. Yet you are shouting that every day they should come. To come to what? They have different reasons why they want to come. And this is somebody who took straight steps to try and get himself cleared. So why? So for me, it's not in the public interest. It is pure politics as far as I'm concerned.
I understand that he may face the possibility of imprisonment like Adamu Sakinde.
Well, there's that, but we like to think that when all the facts are put before the court, they would dismiss the case on lack of a mental element being available.
Ghana's former ambassador to India, Sampi Yali,
yes,
has disclosed today that Vice President Dr. Bawumia holds British citizenship. I mean, this has been going on. According to Mr. Yali, the vice president acquired the citizenship when he was director of the London branch of the Bank of Ghana. He said there is no evidence yet that Dr. Bawumia renounced his British citizenship before he was sworn in as vice president in 2017 and again in 2021. This is allegation and alleged by Sam P. Yali that the vice president may also be in the same position.
When I went for my vetting, Honorable Chairman Sabosu also stated that he believes that I had a British passport. This was based on, I believe, and I stand to be corrected. One, the positions he had held in Britain as a Crown prosecutor. And secondly, on the basis that there was this rumor going around on a local radio station that somebody had seen me with a British passport. He had seen my British passport. I went to a sister station of yours when I came to London one of those days. And they tried to ambush me. So when I came on the studio, the guy was called. And straight away, it went to a question. I said, yes, I've seen your passport. It's a British passport. Blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, okay. Where did you see the passport? He said, I was at duty free at Heathrow Airport. I said, did I give you my passport for you to see that it was a British passport? He said, no. But I could see from where I was in the queue, you were holding this red passport you were given. I said, okay. I said, what is the color of Ghana's diplomatic passport? There was silence. Then I told him the Ghana diplomatic passport is red. It's a red passport. So every Ghanaian who is in the government sphere, who is entitled to a diplomatic passport, has a red passport. He began to apologize. But he had lambasted me for 3 months on the air that I had a British passport. So I'm careful how I throw those accusations.
Yes.
But Chairman Sabonsu insisted. So I said to him clearly that, look, you are a member of parliament, opposition leader at the time. Within 7 days, you can get an answer. Just write a letter to the British High Commission and ask whether I have applied or hold a British passport. You will get your answer. And I know with my hand on my heart, because it's me. I've never applied for and I've never had a British passport. So do so. And there's no point in us saying, yes, I will speak, you will speak. When the person who will decide it exists. And you have the power to contact that person. At which point he said, I will write and confirm it. Because it had, that time they had about 4 or 5 weeks and they had done nothing. And it was the second time they were questioning me on it. When I went for Deputy Minister of Defense, it came up. When I went for Minister of Health, it came up. So he said, I'll write. And I said in that interview that, yes. But in the same way you have questioned me publicly, when you get the result, make it public. For everybody to know that I have never applied or have British citizenship. So there's a simple way to resolve it. One, the more silent man who Bawumia keeps about it. I was questioning on it. So I put my position out clearly. But to just make a statement that, oh, I've never got, you have to give some background. Yes. He should just come out and say. If not, he can just get a clearance note from the British High Commission, whatever, to say that he has never applied. Or if he has had it before, then it changes the dynamics. Because when did you have it? And when did you renounce it? Especially when you have Chachikwesi on this matter. Because he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So, I'm not throwing any accusations. The accusation is there. It can be resolved. It's good propaganda football and talk. But there's a bottom line. Because I had lived in Britain, I had worked in Britain, I was what's called Borough Crown prosecutor, dealing with all this, everybody assumed that you can't have that job if you were not holding a British passport. And it's not true. I had it. Yeah. I didn't go to the next step, which would have required me to do it, become a sector.
What could the government do, or can the government do that they can make checks that
they can
for everyone who goes for vetting, be part of the process for making checks with the relevant authorities?
Then they should write before you get to the vetting process.
Yes, I think that should be the mandate.
That is all. They should write. Why? It is easily confirmed or denied. Once it's from an official source asking the question, you get your answer. They'll put it in the computer. They'll tell you when the person joined, when he left, if he didn't have it, if he never applied, you get it. So for me, it's good politics, as they say, for noise making, especially because of the Chachi Kwesin issue. So because of that, he, in his interest, to come out and clear the air, if not so to do the rounds. And by the time if you want to rectify it, why? Up to today, people are still suspecting President Nana Addo about his certificate. But when they did the same thing with Emisata came out openly, went to Legon, got the certificates and made a public statement and showed his certificate. And that was the end of the matter. Because people said, where was his doctorate?
Yes.
You understand? He brought it.
Yes.
Or his master's, I can't remember which one. But he got the certificate and it was the matter. And because he had misplaced the certificate, he went to Legon, they went to the archives, his details were there. Any school you go to, there's a record. He collected it, he made it public. This is my certificate. So how you deal with it also will help bring the noise down, yes, or raise the decibels. And the choice is yours.
Yeah, because of time.
Yes.
What is your message for Ghanaians? I mean, Father's Day is coming. Sunday is Father's Day. Something away from politics. Is Father's Day Sunday? A lot of people feel that women get, when it's Mother's Day, they get more attention and Father's Day is being ignored. And most people are not happy about it. Today they were having conversation. Do you have any message for them? And also your message for 2024, what people should expect from NDC?
To a certain extent, the statement that women get more or appear to get more is not entirely accurate. I think a lot of men are recognized in their homes by their partners, by their children. It's just that we don't go out and talk about it. Yeah. But a lady will meet a friend and say, oh, I got this from my hubby, oh, I got mine too. And if you haven't got hubby, you are in trouble.
Yes.
Or my daughter gave me this for my Mother's Day. Yes. Or they just came and surprised me. They gave me. We will never say that, oh, I had breakfast in bed. But they have given you breakfast in bed. Yes. So we don't talk about what our families, our partners and stuff do for us. But they do. But not as much as the other way around, because we are also not necessarily, we don't worry about it if it's not done. But if you miss your wife's birthday or her Mother's Day or your partner, then you are in trouble. And I know by now they are going to slaughter me for my statement. Yes. But yes, this you can't miss it. Whereas if you miss a month, yes, it's no big deal. Yes. Most of the time. I mean, there are some, but most of the time. So I just think that we make certain blanket statements which are not necessarily correct. But kudos to all men.
Yes.
There are single men, single family homes or single homes where the man is doing everything. Yes. There are working mothers where the man is rather at home. Yes. There are men who are also providing for their families. And even though we celebrate as Father's Day and Mother's Day, I see each of those days as a Parents' Day. Yes. Because as a team, the father shines, and as a team, the mother shines. So yes, let's celebrate it together in whatever sphere. And it's a good thing to celebrate. Yes. Because it also brings to fore that the reason why we do it is normally to foster, engender love between all groups at different levels. You meet, and I'm glad it's been cleared that it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have children to be called a mother. You don't have to have children to be called a father. People are fathers to people at different levels and at different spheres. So it's to all men. And Mother's Day is to all women. And we give God praise for that day. And we pray that He will continue to foster us with peace and love as men in years to come.
That's very good. Now, your last word for today's program and message for NDC and also the Ghanaian community in the UK here and in Ghana.
Change is sometimes brought about for reasons that will enhance progress. As far as I'm concerned, without being personal to anyone, the MPP has run out of ideas. All decisions made now are about politics and not the development of Ghana. Every politician has the ability to make decisions in 3 areas. You either make a decision with personal interest in your mind, you make a decision with party interest in your mind, or you make a decision with national interest in your mind.
Okay.
Increasingly, it's becoming clear that the MPP have not applied the third one, the national interest, for a long time. And almost all decisions are made either for personal interest or for party interest. And therefore, it's time for a change in Ghana. If for nothing at all, to ensure that there's accountability. Because they will not account to themselves. Somebody must come and ask them to account for their stewardship. And if nothing is found, we will clap for them. If something is found, we will deal with it. So change is necessary. 2024, vote for the NDC to come into power. You have an experienced set of hands coming. President Mahama has been there, done it. There is no comparison, we say, and we will do that in months to come when we begin the campaign. The record of Nana Addo compared to the record of John Mahama, you can't compare the two. Based on the finance that John Mahama had and what they have had and what he achieved with his and what they have achieved with theirs. So it is clear that John Mahama's record is way better than that of the MPP. So vote for him to come in. He will hit the ground running because he also knows all of us in the NDC. He knows who to put where and for what purpose. He knows where people's strengths are, where their weaknesses are. Because he has been there, he has seen all the issues. And he's also known that he is human, as he says. So I may have done certain things wrongly or not wrongly, differently. I must now revert, change various things and put them back in order. So he's not coming because he needs to do that, but he's coming because he's now got the experience to make sure that the 4 years is fully used for development as opposed to any other aspect. And to lay a solid foundation for us as a country where we can move on from. And that is the message I have for Ghanaians. Vote for the NDC in the coming 2024 elections.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Alex Segbefia, former Minister of Health, former Deputy Chief of Staff and NDC International Relations Director for the Diaspora. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you. Yeah, we'd like to thank our viewers and also CEO Joe Bedu and Sister Dansua, Beatrice Asante for your support and your aunt as well. Thank you and good night, everyone. Good night.